Hey,
now we're cooking. Welcome to another episode of Now We're Cooking. I'm Aunt Annie.
And I'm Grandma Jayne.
And today we're dressed a little differently because it's about 90 degrees outside. So I have shorts on and I have a short sleeve shirt on. I didn't even put on makeup today because it's too hot. So, any rate, if you hear a little baby from time to time, my 16-month-old nephew is here named Dawson, and his mother's here taping for us. So my niece Megan. So again, hopefully we'll be able to keep him busy and not interrupt the show. This week, Jayne and I decided that we're going to honor our fathers because it's Father's Day week. It's Father's Day this coming Sunday, and although both of our fathers are gone, we would like to honor them by making some of their favorite desserts and meals this week in their honor. And maybe even at the end of each show, we'll tell you a little something about what we appreciated about our fathers. And we hope that you'll do the same this week. Continue to tell your father or your father figure that's a father in your life. And there might be more than one. Grandfathers, uncles, foster dads, whoever is like a father to you, make sure you let them know this week all the things about them that you appreciate, okay? So today, what are we going to start with, Jayne?
Hey, lemon pound cake.
Lemon pound cake.
One of my dad's favorites.
You know what? I'm going to move this just in case it's in your road. And lemon pound cake. And tell us what your dad's name was.
Francis Dale.
Francis
But
Dale.
it went by Dale.
Went by Dale.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's name was Jackie Leroy. God help us. And but he went by Jack. And we both had very wonderful dads. But today we're going to start with something Dale, her dad was awesome. We just love Dale, and we miss him very much. So, lemon pound cake. How do we get started, Jayne?
Okay, you have to buy a lemon cake mix.
Okay, lemon cake mix.
And you have to have, I just lost the pudding mix. Where did it go?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, is that it? There it is. You have a lemon instant pudding mix, 4 eggs, a 1/3 cup of oil, and a cup of water. And all you have to do is empty them all into the big bowl. And Dad liked to have this cut. He liked almond flavoring on the top of the frosting, and he'd cut it and put it in a bowl and put milk on it.
Oh, yum.
And really, I still have to do that sometimes because it's so good that way. The only thing is you can eat a lot more of it when you do that.
I noticed Jayne put her liquids ready to go here. Now, I've always learned, at least the way I grew up, and I think Jayne too, we use clear glass or Pyrex or plastic clear stuff to put our liquids in. And typically we use other kinds of measuring cups, like so for dry things, okay?
Here, give me one of those.
You betcha.
I'll plop the egg into it to be sure I don't get it into
This one's probably even bigger for you. Is that big enough?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll just do it one at a time. But if you do get a part of a shell into the batter or whatever, you just put the eggshell close to it and it magnetizes to it.
Oh, what a good
it's
tip.
a trick.
I never heard that trick.
That I learned from somebody on TV.
Way to go, Chicky.
So I thought, well, I'll just put them in here so we don't have any problem with that. You know, right into the batter, because that's a mess. Nobody wants to crunch on an old hard eggshell.
I'm just going to grab this little guy so he can see what we're doing.
Awesome Dawson, get down there. All right.
You want to come see closer?
So 4 eggs, like I said.
This is my nephew, Dawson. And he's
Yay.
16 months old, and I think he'll be a lot happier with us if he's watching and helping. You want to help us?
You betcha. He can help us anytime.
Yeah.
And a 1/3 cup oil.
Yummy.
And don't look at my face today. I'm fried from being at the beach. I don't know. I guess my probably expired sunscreen or something.
Oh, but you did apply sunscreen.
I did.
That's important.
Yeah. Always. Yeah.
If you need a scraper or anything, they're right there, Jayne, and the copper utensil holder.
All right, we'll do that. And I have a little hand mixer. You can do this by hand as well. With
Are you
like
going to want to plug it in?
a
Okay,
wooden
very good.
spoon. Yeah.
Very good. I'm sorry I didn't see the cord, dude.
Kind of start a little slower so it doesn't get all over.
Now, if you don't have a hand mixer, a lot of you probably have a hand mixer more than you have the big KitchenAid or the big table mixers. Because those can be really expensive and a lot of households don't have them. So Jayne's trying to show you how you can just use a hand mixer. Most households have a hand mixer at least. So what consistency then, Jane, do you want to get it to be?
Oh, kind of thick, so it gets thick and kind of stands up a little bit. When you're done mixing it, do it for a couple minutes.
And you want to go ahead and make sure all of it gets mixed in well.
Yes, very good. Yeah, scrape the sides. And make sure there's no lumps if you can help it.
Yeah, this little guy was born in February of last year. He's been nothing but a joy. Awesome Dawson, right?
Yeah, you're gonna want some of that when Jayne is done?
Oh, we'll let you lick your finger.
We'll let you lick the bowl.
Yum, yum. Yum, yum. Okay, how's that? Whoa, I didn't have one in there. Very good.
Yep.
All right.
We've got a beater down in aisle 3.
Does he want to lick this?
Sure, let's grab a bowl. I'll do that.
Okay.
And that'll keep him busy for a while we continue on. We just thought, what the heck? This is a cooking show for kids, so why not show you a kid or two once in a while, right? And we're gonna have your mommy on sometime instead of just taping. Have her come on and guest cook, and maybe even your grandma,
Yeah.
your nana, right?
So, the next thing that's all ready to go is get our pan ready. And, whoops, not wrong pan here. We'll do a bundt pan like this. Take a clean bundt pan. I like to spray some butter in it. You can also put flour in there if you want. I mean, it's not necessary.
It's usually a good idea though, kids, so the cake doesn't stick to the pan. Unfortunately, we just came from the store. Jayne assumed, which she should have been able to assume, that I would have some flour, but I haven't baked in a long while, so I was out of flour. I don't like to keep it too long. So it seems like I end up buying it and throwing it out because I don't get it used. But yeah, I would agree with Jayne. I would coat it with some flour too.
And then just carefully put it around. You could put it in a 9 by 13 pan. You could put it in, a round cake pan, anything. But it really looks pretty. And Mom always did it this way, to put it in a fluted bundt pan.
Okay, and can you tell the kids what fluted means?
It's just scalloped around
Okay,
the edge
yep.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's not smooth. It's like
Yeah.
she said, it's like scalloped, okay?
My mom, I mean, this is funny, kind of. But she would make these when people died, so it got nicknamed the funeral cake.
Ah!
But everybody loved them because it was something different, and it was real
Absolutely.
refreshing and moist.
Cool.
So we're gonna put this in the oven for, does it say 1 hour?
And what have you preheated the oven to?
To 350 degrees.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start that timer for you,
Okay,
so we don't forget while we're making other things.
all right, that sounds good. And also, I'm gonna be putting a little cookie crust in there too. Should we go on to the fruit pizza?
Sure.
You see, we'll have to do a different episode, or we're gonna do them together?
We can do it together.
Okay, we're gonna just go right on to the fruit pizza, I should call it. And I've already prepared the dough, so I thought it might take a while to do all that on the air.
And so just tell us what you put in that handy dandy dough.
Okay, so the dough is, you can pick any sugar cookie recipe you want. The one I use for this is 1 stick margarine, softened, 1 cup sugar, 1 egg, 1/2 cup salad oil, 1/8 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 2.5 cups flour, 1 teaspoon soda, and 1 teaspoon cream of tartar.
Very good. So that's the sugar cookie recipe
That's the
you
sugar
prefer.
cookie, yeah.
Okay, and then what kind of a dish are you going to use then?
Well, you can use whatever you want, but I like a pizza pan type thing because it's called fruit pizza. Then it's round and you can cut it like a pizza into wedges. I've had this in the refrigerator for a while, since this morning, so it's a little firmer, which is okay. We just push it around and form it in that crisp pan.
I'm still trying to think of the name of that company. It used to have house parties. Jayne and I both bought a dish like this for occasions like this.
Yeah.
And foods like this, but for the life of us, we can't remember what that company was called. We'll think of it later.
Is it on the bottom of here, I wonder?
Maybe.
And then also, I have a big, nice stainless steel roaster at home from that. And that
Was it country something?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Something country or country something?
Yeah. And that was really, they always had cute things.
Yes.
I mean, really, that
People
was
had
like-
house parties and then you could look at a magazine and then order them and then they came in later.
I'd say that was probably what, the 80s and 90s or so, right in there, that was so popular.
Uh-huh.
I got a set of 3 bowls that were speckled like this, but different colors, you know, that sat inside each other. And
80s and 90s, again, that probably sounds prehistoric.
yeah,
Like we talked about when we talked about 73.
we are the dinosaurs, right?
We're definitely turning into... What dinosaur would you be if you could be?
Oh, I don't think I'd want to be T-Rex. Let's see.
Brontosaurus.
A flying one, I'd want to be. Or
Yeah,
did
that'd be
they all
pretty.
fly?
I don't think so. I can't imagine that T-Rex getting off the ground. But maybe he did. Who knows?
The way he flapped his arms around, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I think this is, I just want to be sure.
Okay.
This is down in the middle here a little bit, so it's not too.
And I assume you washed your hands well
I
before you
did.
did.
I did wash
We
my
just
hands.
want to clarify, kids,
Reiterate.
especially when your hands are getting right into the food, you want to make sure you wash them especially well. And we're learning to do that better now with the COVID-19.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, I wash them all the time. It's terrible, but I do.
There's some soap if you need it.
Yeah.
I don't think you do, probably.
So this will go into the oven at 350 until it's like done like a cookie, golden brown.
Okay.
So we just kind of gotta watch it.
While you're doing that, I'm going to wipe off your
Yeah.
surface for you.
And while that's happening, I'm going to prepare the strawberries, kiwi, and bananas that
Okay.
go on top.
Very good.
There's also a glaze that goes on it, and to me, that makes the whole fruit pizza. I've had them that end with fruit on top, but when you put that glaze on it, oh, it just sets it off. I'm gonna wash the kiwi real quick. All right. Kiwi are a different sort of little fruit, aren't they? I mean, they're kind of fuzzy on the outside, they're green. They don't even look really good, actually.
What do they taste like?
Well, this is the only thing I use them on, and otherwise they're not bad, but they're supposed to lower cholesterol. So they
Really?
do have a purpose in their life.
Well, they almost look like a small russet potato from a distance, kids. But up close, can you tell them kids how they feel?
Yeah, they're fuzzy. They got like a brown fuzz on them.
Okay.
So I'll grab my knife here quick. I'll cut into it and let you see what that looks like. And you can ripen them a little bit. They're kind of hard when they're not ripened. And then I usually take the skin off. Do you have a little paring knife?
I sure
My
do.
knife's too big.
Excuse me. Get a little paring
Is
knife.
Dawson into eating a lot of stuff now?
No,
Is he trying?
he doesn't eat anything.
Oh, really? Does he really?
He
I thought
used to-
maybe he liked strawberries or something.
Oh yeah, he'll eat a strawberry, but
Uh-huh.
he went from eating everything in sight to being extremely picky all of a sudden.
Huh. Well, they do that. Kids are unpredictable. Especially when you think they're starting to eat good.
Are you kids? Are you unpredictable?
We'll get all these cleaned and peeled, ready to put onto the fruit pizza when it comes out of the oven. I have to make up a little cream cheese and sugar and vanilla type spread to put on top of the cookie crust. And that's what holds the cookie or the fruit onto it. And then after that, I'll get a little pan out to put to boil some lemon juice and orange juice, water, cornstarch together, and that makes the thicker glaze on top. And that is really what makes it good, in my opinion. If you didn't have that, it's kind of more blah. And the thing is with that glaze too, it's not real sweet. It's not a sweet glaze, but when you put it on that cookie crust with the fruit and the cream cheese and sugar and all, it just complements it perfectly.
Yum.
And it's so pretty. This has been one of my youngest son's favorites for years. And anybody, I got it from a friend. That I was in a group of girls, and she was hosting one time, and this was the recipe I got. So it pays to be social sometimes.
Well,
Especially-
so like if you were taking it to a card club or
Yeah.
things like that,
Mhm.
something you wanted to contribute that you were bringing, is it good like to take to a potluck even?
I think it's great to take anywhere where there's plenty of people that'll eat it, and it usually gets eaten up really fast because it's good. And then you have a lot of people, because it's not as good to leave it maybe overnight one night, but otherwise that cream cheese there again can get a little bit milky, you know.
And I noticed Grandma Jean's using our strawberry tip that we got from my mom, Grandma Jean. I saw her earlier today, and she watched some episodes, and she was delighted to see that we were using her tips. She said if you happen to have a grapefruit spoon that has a little bit of that serration at the end of the spoon, that works slick as well. But
Oh, okay.
again, the tablespoon also works that we use right at the table. Why not, right?
Yeah, and strawberries are really good for you. In fact, I think I've heard everything that's red and green are really good for you.
Good.
Like tomatoes, strawberries, cherries. They all have their little thing that they do that's healthy for you.
Well, no wonder the doctor tells us to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, huh, kids?
Yeah. And this is a fun way to eat them because it's a dessert and it's yummy. It's really, really good. One of the best ways I have had to make a dessert with fruit. Besides strawberry shortcake and that kind of stuff, it's always good. Okay, so that much is done. All I have to do is slice up the,
What can I do to help
Banana?
you?
I'm just gonna get rid of this stuff,
Okay.
the peelings, and do the bananas, and then I can start mixing up the topping.
Okay.
Then we'll be well on our way, and we'll just take a peek in here to be sure that cookies still got a ways to go.
So that's what kiwi looks like when you get the brown fuzzy stuff off.
It's got little seeds like around
Okay.
the core,
Okay.
but you can eat the whole thing like that.
And then the skin came off well with a paring knife.
Yep.
And again, you want to be careful, kids, because it's a knife that could cut you.
But they really are healthy. They're supposed to be good for your cholesterol, keeping it lower.
Yum.
And I know cherries are good for like lowering the inflammation or helping with that inflammation. I need bananas.
Right there.
Oh God, I am blind most of the time, aren't I?
Well, I'm not doing anything but looking, so that's the least I can do to help you out.
I'm always looking beyond.
Isn't that the way, though? We can't see something right in front of our face.
Yeah. My oldest son could spot you like a mile away or whatever, but if he asked for ketchup and I put it right in front of him, he wouldn't see it. It's just weird. It's funny. Makes you laugh anyway.
Now, we talked about textures and colors in about every episode that we've done here. Now, look at the different colors and textures that are going to be in this fruit pizza.
Yep.
Fabulous. Just fabulous.
And then I'll show you when I get the glaze going here. That's pretty too. Because it looks sort of like lemon, you know. It's orange juice and lemon, so it's got that
Oh, yum.
kind of color going for it.
I'm going to start getting that stuff out for you.
Yeah. Orange juice and lemon juice, water, and what were the other ingredients? Cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of that. And I'll get a pot. Let's see. I think I'll use. Let's see.
Yeah?
I'm gonna
Anyone?
use this one,
Okay.
and it won't be too much or whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
If you noticed in these episodes, we keep adding and subtracting pots and pans because we've had viewers say, "Oh, sometimes the light comes in and you look like you've got this angel halo, and we know you're not angels." Or sometimes we'll get people saying, "Oh, that pan is casting a shadow on you. Get rid of those pots and pans." So we like the look of it being homey, but we keep playing with that too. So bear with us.
I need a cup, and then you got the lemon juice out too.
I have
Awesome.
all of this for you.
Thank you. Oops, the only brand name is showing. Okay, so a half a cup.
Did you shake up the orange juice good?
No.
I just don't
that's
know.
probably a good
I
idea.
just don't know sometimes how long it's been on the shelf. So I was always taught, and Jane was too, I think, we always just shake up that orange juice a little bit because things can separate. And we want to get all of that in the juice, okay?
So we need a cup
Now, Jane, tell them about your bowls.
orange juice.
I don't know if you've told them about your bowls before.
These little bowls,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they're wonderful. You can use them for custard or pudding or whatever, and they have measuring. They are a fourth cup, a half cup, 3/4 cup, and the top is a full cup.
How handy.
Yeah, very handy, especially for this. Okay, and then we're gonna do a half a cup of lemon juice. Sure, I have my thing right here. Oh, I gotta turn the wrong way.
Oh, this is exciting.
It's the cornstarch in this that's gonna make it thicker. And you have to stir it quite a while, cook it a little bit, and it's really good. Thank you.
You betcha.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's see.
Let's
here.
get you some cornstarch.
Cornstarch, and I gotta seal with the water again. A half a cup, so that's not too bad.
Okay.
Can do that easy enough. I think one time I put too much water in it and then it never thickened up. Well, that's why. I read it wrong and I put a cup in instead of half cup.
Sure.
Makes a big difference.
Darn right.
So I'll get the stove about medium heat.
And like we told you kids about your subjects at school, reading is so important in the kitchen. Because if you read something wrong in the kitchen, it can mean all the difference in the world as to whether your dish is going to turn out or not.
This calls for 3 tablespoons
Okay,
of cornstarch.
okay.
And this is what is gonna make it thick. And I'll put it over here. Where's Megan? We'll wanna move that. And stir it up. See, there's no sugar in this, so you think this would be the sweet part when you put it on your fruit pizza, but it isn't. It's actually kind of sour. But it's just the blend of the fruit with the cream cheese and sugar and vanilla that makes it awesome.
Okay,
And that's the other thing I have to get ready.
so how long does it have to stay on the stove?
Well, I gotta stir it until it's clear. And then we'll have to let the cookie crust cool a little bit, you know.
Do you want Megan to focus in or zoom in on anything, Jane?
Can you see this when I'm here? Okay. And it's just a blend of orange juice and lemon juice, cornstarch and water. Like I said, it's not sweet, but the combination is wonderful. And I can, you want to stir that for me a little
I
bit?
sure will.
That would help because it's constantly, as it gets starting to get thick, you want to be right there.
Got to earn my keep.
And also, let me see, I gotta get a bowl and show you how to mix up this. It's like the frosting on the cookie that holds the fruit down. It is, if I can get it open here, it's the cream cheese. There we go, finally. Cream cheese. Put that in there. Alright, wash my hands a little bit.
I think you can probably hear the spoon at the bottom, touching the bottom of this, and I want you to hear that because I want you to know you've got to keep hitting the bottom so it doesn't burn. You want to just make sure you keep getting the bottom of the service stirred.
And we'll put in a cup of sugar. Hi Dawson, how you doing? It's fun having you here today. Does he usually take a nap?
Yeah, he skipped
So he's
today.
getting tired, huh?
We'll see what happens.
Okay, and then we have to just do our vanilla, and we're got it. Don't know what that is. Okay. Some days we're organized, sometimes we're not, but we seem to get it done, don't we, Annie?
We do. Today's probably a little less organized than sometimes, But you know what? This is real life, so we're trying to teach you kids that, you know, some cooking shows, they're all wonderful because you learn a lot, but so much of it's staged. You know, they've got helpers measuring things out for them and all that jazz. We try to keep this casual so you kids can see what it's more realistic, what it's really like at home.
I just put a teaspoon of vanilla in this. Then
Yeah,
all I have to do is
vanilla's always good.
Yeah. All I have to do is blend it. And then it'll be ready to put on the cookie crust when it's cooled.
Great.
We're getting there, guys. It takes a while for that to thicken too, doesn't it?
How's your cookie though looking?
I think it's getting there, isn't it?
It is getting there.
Looks delicious.
It's not quite golden yet.
It's kind of puffing up. That cream of tartar and all, soda and all that in there is getting it to just puff up.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, this is really good. Do you like this, Ann, as a rule? 'Cause
You
I know
betcha.
you usually like chocolate stuff more than fruit.
I do. Well, hence the weight.
Yeah.
And oh, I want to give you an update, kids. I went to the doctor yesterday for a physical, and my weight's going down thanks to you. Seeing myself on these episodes with you kids, I want to get healthier to show you that I'm not just full of beans. I'm gonna walk the walk and talk the talk, and not just tell you I'm gonna lose some weight, because I do want to get healthier, and I want all of you at home to be healthy.
I've been doing Zumba every day for a half hour.
Have ya?
And I was doing good. I could feel it. I could suck in, you know, whatever. And then Mom and I went to the pub and sat out by the river and had popcorn chicken, you know, and waffle fries and cheese curds. I'm like, oh, great, there it goes. But it's still, you got to have a little enjoyment too.
Well, luckily I went to see Megan and Josh and Dawson this weekend, and luckily I got to some few stolen moments in the stroller walking Dawson, so that probably helped me to get some
I love
exercise.
Clear Lake, don't you?
The
I
way
love it.
the weekend was just
We're
beautiful.
talking about Clear Lake, Iowa. It's a little town about 40 miles from here. We're in Charles City, Iowa, and it's just the neatest community, and there's always something going on. It's got a lake. It's just really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. How's it going there, kid? Do you need me to take over?
No, we're good.
I think I'll slice the strawberries real quick then,
Sure.
because I
Do
didn't
you need
do that
another
yet.
cutting board?
Nah, I think we're good. I'll just put them back in the bowl. That won't be too long before that cookie's out, and
So
then
what? How are you slicing those?
I'm just slicing them like where the end and the stem was. I'm slicing it right through there.
Okay.
You can slice them anyhow you want. You can chop them up. I had somebody serve strawberry shortcake one time when it was diced up. Strawberries were. I thought that
Really?
was different, but
I don't know that I've seen that.
yeah. And it was fine because the strawberries go further, you know. It actually was a good deal.
When I travel, I buy lots of things to keep my memories alive on my travels, and my memories alive from each time I went somewhere. And it's so funny because I'm looking at one of the things I usually buy are pot holders. I see I've got one from Las Vegas here, and that one we showed you another episode where we learned about the Russia. So here's a pot holder from London. It's so fun to travel, and then part of that fun is trying the foods of the region that you're traveling.
And you're lucky you've traveled so much as you have because things are different now. I don't know when they'll change. I don't know.
Now, how hot do you have this burner, Jayne?
At least medium or so, medium
Okay.
high, because it does take a while. But is it starting
It
to
is.
show? Okay.
It's starting to thicken.
And it kind of starts to boil and kind of
Yep.
gets clearer looking.
Yep, we got a little boil at the top
Okay,
of the surface of the mixture, and you can just tell it's getting thicker.
Okay. Well, then once that happens, you can turn it off and let it cool a little bit. And the cookie is looking good in there. It looks like there's still a little bit it can cook in the middle. Looks a little shiny, like it's still batter.
And you said you want this off or keep it going?
I would say you could turn it off, yeah.
Okay.
Should be good. What's Dawson like to eat best? He's got any favorite thing?
He's a pretty big fan of mac and cheese.
Isn't that funny how
Just
kids,
like his aunt.
Yeah.
His great aunt.
And of course, he loves anything chocolate, anything sweet. He'll probably love the fruit pizza.
I hope so.
I'm guessing.
And I think the taste will really delight him, I hope. Because they are delicious. That's our favorite word used on this show is delicious.
Yeah.
I'm going to wash off some of this until the cookie's ready.
And again, kids, we talked to you about cleaning up as you go. It's just the way to go. I was going to start until I got a job here, but I realized it'd make too much noise. So as soon as I'm able and we're off the air before the next episode, we'll be cleaning up again in between. It's just really important to clean up as you go.
It makes it a lot easier at the end, that's for sure. And my great aunt taught me a lot about cooking and baking, and that's how she did it. And it does make a difference. Otherwise, you have a dirty kitchen. You don't even want to pick up after it.
Well, especially when we're filming episodes one after the other. For heaven's sakes, we like to see where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, we like to get organized for the next episode, and when you clean up in between, it really helps.
Let me smell that cookie there. Look at it, I should say.
Sure.
You got a toothpick or anything?
I got toothpicks.
That's coming close. I can smell it.
Mhm.
So yeah, and the crust is getting kind of brown.
Do you want a
So
toothpick?
in the meantime, sure.
Okay.
You can turn. You don't have to continue. If it's already getting thick.
I'm just going to take it off the burner then.
Okay.
I'm going to get you a toothpick and see,
Yeah.
and tell the kids why you want a toothpick, Jayne.
I'm gonna stick it in the middle of that cookie crust and see if it comes out clean. If it comes out clean, then it's done.
And clean meaning?
No cookie on it.
Very good.
I think it has a little.
I
ways
think
go,
I'm going to
but
give you a
it's
dark
in
one
there.
so you can really tell if there's any cookie on it.
Okay, look at that thing. Is that a monster cookie though?
Listen here, fella, you're taking off all my good stuff off the fridge. Is that fun?
Look at
Is that fun?
Looks pretty good, huh?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sorry, I need some eye surgery. Having it next week. I won't need to get some so close to me.
I'm just
Pretty
thinking
soon.
though. Okay, this side I could almost get a little.
Gonna turn
yeah,
it?
I think I will.
Yeah, some ovens, of course, mine is too, are uneven. So sometimes you want to spin things around because
Uh-huh.
they don't cook evenly.
Not really spinning. I'll just leave that in a few minutes more. It's not spinning too good because it's got little legs like on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't want it to go spill out or something. Yes, and this ended up, see, it looks like almost a lemon pie filling. Very good. I'll get that cool here. I'm gonna start chopping this up for the next one a little bit.
For the next episode?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
very
then
good.
that way, because the cookie's gotta,
We can stay ahead of the game.
this will be for our stir fry segment. And that's another thing that my dad loved was stir fry, any kind. He could eat it cold, whatever. He loved it.
Oh, I love stir fry.
Oh, I do too. And in the meantime, I also should plug in the rice, shouldn't I?
You certainly
Yeah.
can.
I've got some rice over here that I put in a cooker.
And again, this is realistic too, kids, because a lot of times when you're preparing a meal, you do have to stagger and think ahead to the next thing. In other words, you might have something in the oven. While it's in the oven, then you can be doing other things. Now, if you're not making a whole meal, you might want to challenge yourself to use the hour, for instance, that Jayne's got her lemon pound cake in there. Use that hour to go read for an hour till the timer goes off. And we always suggest using timers as well, either on your phone or on the appliance itself, because it's so easy to forget about it. So easy to get busy and forget. Another thing, instead of reading for that hour, go out and exercise. Not too far away, because you want to check on your oven and on your stove. Maybe just go outside and play with a ball or play catch or do something close by, right out maybe outside your door, so you can keep an eye on the oven and what's in it. But use that hour, especially I think it'd be a good time to read. Or practice your instruments. A lot of you kids, even if school isn't going on this summer, should still be practicing your instruments. But reading is a skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Again, practice your instruments. The more you do it, the better you get at them. You might want to go play your piano, your saxophone, your clarinet, your flute, your drums, whatever it is that you might be playing at school. That's an awesome thing to do while you've got something in the oven.
And I just put rice into my rice cooker. Now that is,
Tell them about a rice cooker.
yeah, a rice cooker is so handy because you can just put all your ingredients in there and plug it in and let it go. And it really makes the rice puff up. And I just really enjoy it. We eat a lot of it, so it just works out good. So today I put 2 cups of rice in it, and then 2.5 cups of water, just a dash of salt, and a couple tablespoons of butter.
Okay, I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, where do you, lots of kids at home aren't going to have rice cookers,
Yes.
so how would you do this if you didn't have a rice cooker?
I would do it on the stovetop, and I would just follow directions on the bag of rice.
On the bag of rice, and you could also get boxes of rice too,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. And
But-
you can do microwave,
Okay.
you know. There's,
Microwave rice out there too?
Mhm, right.
So that's all if you don't have a rice cooker, kids. Now, next question is, what kind of rice did you use?
I use like a long grain rice, and you buy it in a big bag at grocery store.
Can you tell the kids all the kinds of rices that are out there?
Well, there's long grain and wild rice, and actually, there's probably a lot more than I know because red rice, because I don't really buy anything else but the
Yeah.
same all the time, you know. You can buy stuff to make dirty rice, you know, Louisiana style, that type of
Or
thing.
rice pilaf or whatever?
Yeah.
So again, there's lots of kinds of rices out there, kids. Just follow the directions on the bag or the box if you don't have a rice cooker. If you do end up getting a rice cooker or you have one at home, then how do they know how to do it?
Then they just follow directions on the rice cooker.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the rice cooker will have directions or instructions on it if you don't do it on the stovetop.
I've kind of got it memorized, so if I put a cup in of rice, it's usually 1.5 cups of water,
Okay?
you know, and just a little salt and butter.
And butter. And how much butter again?
Oh, I think it was two tablespoons
Okay.
on the stick. And if you use a stick, you can measure it that
And
way.
again, butter and margarine, kids, if you don't know, I think you probably do. They're in sticks. You can get 4 quarters, they call them, in a box. Sometimes you got to be careful to store too. I've done this in a hurry. I've gotten what I think are the 4 quarters of butter, the sticks, and I come home and I've got the whole big chunk of butter because I went too fast and didn't read closely enough. So again, but on those quarters, if you're careful enough to get the 4 quarters, like Jayne said, of ole, margarine, or of butter, they have the measuring right on the wrapper where you can cut it. Now that's where it's easier to cut when it's still out of the fridge. You know, we told you it's easier to cook and bake with softened butter, but I can tell you when it comes time to cutting butter, like say you want to melt some for your popcorn, or like here Jayne wanted to cut off some for her rice cooker, that's when it's best to cut it right out of the fridge because it'll cut better if it's harder and chilled. If it's melted like this, it can be kind of soupy, or you know, would you agree with that?
Yes,
Jayne?
I do,
That's easier to cut the sticks of butter or ole when it's out of the fridge
Oh,
or,
yeah.
or out of the
Yeah.
right when it's still cold.
Do you always leave butter out?
Oh, I always leave butter out for my table use. And
You're
that's sort
saying
of thing.
like toast or something?
Yeah,
like that?
for toast. If I have people over to put on rolls or mashed potatoes or anything, I like to use real butter for that. I sometimes use the margarine for cooking or baking, depending on what it is. Sometimes cookies you want to use the real butter, it just depends. But again, that's how we were raised too, that we always had real butter on the table, but we a lot of times used margarine for cooking and baking.
Well, the cookie crust is out, so all we have to wait is let it cool a little bit, and then I'll put the frosting or that powdered sugar and vanilla and sugar combo mixture onto that, and then we'll start layering it, and then by then the glaze should be cooled too, so we can be done. We can just put it over the top.
Now, do you want a different bowl for your broccoli?
Nah, no,
Okay.
it all goes in the same place pretty much.
Okay.
And we have peppers and stuff too for the stir fry, right? Yeah, I'll get those out.
I can get those for
Okay,
you.
all right. Might as well chop as much as we can before that point, so we're organized for that. And it takes about 20 minutes or so for the rice cooker to be done. And it clicks on to warm, I think it is, yeah, warm when it's done. But it, do you have a, oh, she doesn't, she's not in the room. I wondered if Megan had a rice cooker. They're so handy. Remember when we used it at the Elks that time?
Yes.
Just kept cranking it on. It was making it good. Okay.
Megs, do you have a rice cooker?
No.
They're nice. If you eat rice much.
We don't eat much rice, so the little bit of rice I eat, I just do it in a pan.
Yeah, then it probably isn't worth it. These, okay, those are cut and washed. All right, well, we'll take a look at things. It doesn't take too long for this crust to cool, so I'm gonna get some stuff out of here for a minute so we can focus on that. Such a nice kitchen you got here, Aunt Annie.
Yes.
This has worked out great with this butcher
Like
block.
you said, I'm glad it's getting more use than it's
Yeah.
used to. Because it is really a good place to cook.
Whoever thought you would be doing this, but it's great, isn't it?
Sure
I wish we
is.
would have started years ago.
I do too.
But, you know, what got us started was the pandemic. Just bored and needed something to do. And this is a great way to do it, be able to stay home.
You betcha.
Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna bring the cookie crust over here. It looks awesome. A little bit broke off, but you can expect that because it's such a,
Can you show
you know, the whole cookie.
Can you show our viewers how golden?
Yeah.
Mm,
The
yum.
whole cookies recipe is on there, so. I'll do it.
Yum.
Yeah.
So you do want to let it cool a bit, just so things aren't too like runny and
Yeah.
they
just a
don't
little
melt.
bit.
They don't-
Right, right.
Okay.
And if they melt a little, that doesn't matter because you can chill it, so.
Sure.
So I will put, let me see, I'll grab another one of these spatulas. I love these spatulas. And put it in the middle and just spread it out. And like I said, this is what holds the fruit onto the cookie crust. I don't know who thought of this, but they were genius.
Somebody other than myself. that's
Yeah.
for sure.
People are good with recipes, aren't they? So, and it's not hard. It takes a little time. There's kind of 3 stages to it.
Now, is that the best utensil you found to spread then?
Oh, you could use a knife. You could
Okay.
use a spoon, you know, one of those what, frosting knives. You know,
I was gonna
whatever.
say, kids, there are frosting knives out there too
Yeah.
that are made just for that purpose.
I used to have one. I don't know if I
They're a
still
little
have.
wider.
I bet,
They don't have really a blade on. They're just for spreading.
I bet Dawson would love a piece of this if it's not too hot.
I
Oh,
bet
yeah.
you will. Dawson,
Dawson, you
you
want a
want
piece
some
of
cookie?
this? Cookie.
Mm.
Cookie. He's not sure.
I think
he
it's-
doesn't know me.
That's right. Let's
That's
try.
good, Dawson.
We give it to Mama. You want some cookie from Mama?
Danger.
You betcha. I bet. Here he goes. He's
Once
going
she-
in, Jane. He's going in.
Once she's got it, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is on there pretty good.
Very good.
This kind of crumbled, but
It's
that's
okay.
all right. Yeah, I'll just take it off. There's some
That's right.
And I don't think it's too hot.
Oh, yum.
Okay, so what I usually do is put the kiwi. That's right on here. That's down here. I couldn't see it. The kiwi on first. I don't know why. It's the way
Excuse me.
I first was introduced to it. I think. I just do it that way.
Here, Dawson.
He's coming for more.
Here, Mama, give you some more, buddy.
You know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here we go. And
So you
then
started with the kiwi.
I do. And it lays flat and good. Then I put bananas on there, and sometimes I'll put them in the lemon juice before, just so they don't turn brown as fast. But really, with the lemon juice and in that orange juice glaze, you don't need to.
Aren't you smart?
They stay pretty dang good.
Because like we told you before in other episodes, apples and bananas will brown if they're out in the air too much. So how smart if you needed to keep them in that lemon juice.
I dip my apples when we eat them and have dip or company in a little lemon juice first. It just makes them last longer, you know.
See how many yet left to dip?
Oh my gosh, it's starting to get there.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Oh, I gotta wash my hands. They're kind of wet there. Alright. Now the strawberries. And look at this. Isn't that amazing?
Oh.
Wow.
You know, it's a good rule of thumb. If you said greens and reds are good for you, we could just think of it as Christmas.
Yeah.
For Christmas vegetables are good for you, or
Yeah.
Christmas fruits are good for you. Green and
Those
red.
colors, yeah. And you could, you know, switch these out. This is just how I like it and how I was introduced to it. You could have blueberries, you know. You could add whatever you want to.
You know what'd be awesome for 4th of July coming up, Jane? Maybe they'd want to use strawberries and blueberries.
Yeah, it'd be very good.
Go red, white, and blue.
Yes.
Go USA.
Exactly.
Okay, oh, now this is the
Now,
final.
this is the finale.
And this is the glaze, again, that you made with orange juice.
Yep, lemon juice, cornstarch, and water. So if you taste that alone, if it doesn't burn you. It's not sweet, is it?
No!
And you'd think almost yuck. But when
But
you,
with that other sweet cookie and stuff,
yeah,
oh,
That's-
awesome.
it all comes together when you slice into it and eat it.
Kids, this is so funny. If you could see Dawson right now, he's pointing
Like
to
he
this
wants-
beautiful thing like he wants to devour it. It's so funny.
And he can. It's nice to chill it, but we'll have to cut into it, don't you think? We have
Well,
to.
I think we've got tapers and little boys that deserve to have some.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh my gosh, Jane, that is just beautiful.
We're on plate today.
Sure, he's our good luck charm. Now, do you have to garnish it with anything more?
You can, but I never have.
What would you use
I don't-
though,
I'm
just to
trying to
give the
think.
kids some ideas? I don't know what you would do. What would
Can
be
you
fruity?
use? I don't know. You wouldn't want to do parsley because that's not right with fruit.
I-
Unless you use some orange zest, you
Good.
could do that.
And
You
tell them
could
what
do-
zest
Or
is.
lemon zest,
Or mint.
or mint.
Very
Yeah.
good. Good
Yep.
job, Megan.
Yep.
Or okay, so we could garnish it with mint. And what? Tell them what you mean by zest of the orange or lemon.
You just grate the skin after you've washed it. You just grate some of that and put it on a plate and sprinkle it across.
Very good.
Lemon or orange. or
Okay, let's
mint.
cut into this, baby.
Oh, let's do it.
Dawson, are you looking? Here he comes, you guys. Isn't that
Dawson!
funny? He's got his little baby blue eyeballs on this sucker. He knows what he's about to have, I think.
He's funny. Okay, and then a little, like, you got a spatula right
I
here.
sure do. I
Okay.
should.
Yep.
And I even a better one.
Perfect.
I have a better one in that big drawer over there. More like
This is good.
an icer one.
Let's
That's actually
do-
triangular shaped.
Wow. I think I gotta check on my cake too. It's
Well, I
getting
think the timer still is 20
there.
minutes.
That's right. That's right. Don't touch any of that.
See,
Was
again,
that
there's a
gonna burn him?
perfect example of why.
Will that burn him? Oh, it will, won't it? Is that hot? Warm, but not hot. So.
He should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a perfect
Lucky.
example of why we set the timer, though, because if you do get busy, you can lose track of time. Isn't that beautiful?
Mmm.
Megan can feed that to Dawson.
All right.
Megan, do you want to meet our viewers this episode?
Let's do a different episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, when my face is.
Okay, so Jane, this is your, what did you call it again?
Fruit pizza.
Fruit pizza. So next time you want to have pizza, switch it up. And instead of an Italian pizza with all the stuff that you like that's hot, let's try a cold fruit pizza that's really good for you and taste delicious. Jane, what would you say in signing off this episode?
Say enjoy summer. Make the best of it. Stay outside. Be healthy. And we love you.
And before you finish, I want you to tell the boys and girls something, or our viewers. Some of our viewers are the other end of the spectrum, and everything in between for that matter. Tell the kids something you really appreciated about your dad.
Oh my God, his humor. He liked to tell jokes. Golfed all the time.
Oh my
He
gosh,
was always doing something fun.
her dad was so funny. When he laughed, I loved to watch him laugh because he'd throw his head back. In fact, I try to make him laugh.
I've got a picture of him.
Because I love Dale just throwing that head back.
Maybe we should bring pictures this week.
Well, I
sometime.
have a
Yeah.
suggestion for that too
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
We'll talk about it. But
Okay.
something about my dad, Jack. One of the things I loved about him most, and it carried on through me, was he was a peacemaker. He really hated conflict, and he really wanted everybody around him to be happy. So he remained very flexible. It was always about the other person, not himself, in terms of if everybody else was happy, that's all my dad cared about, was that you were happy, and that made him happy. So, any rate,
We were lucky to have such good dads.
we had great dads. And so
Yeah.
as we go through the week, we'll continue to tell you more about our dads. And so this week, do something nice for your dad every day if you can, or whoever your father figures are. And until next time then, Jayne,
Hey!
now we're cooking.